Hi, Larry.
Morning, Jojo. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, great.
That's what I like to hear. Okay. Okay.
Morning, good morning.
Good morning, Rabbi Brock.
שולחן ערוך יורה דעה, סימן 120, קכ. We looked yesterday in the Rambam and the Chumash, the halachot of Tvilat Kelim. Let's see, the Shulchan Aruch has many interesting. It's not only the halachot and maaseh, they are fascinating. General rules. בסעיף א', look a second in סימן קכ.
No, that's not correct.
You have to look on top always. Now look a second. But as a general rule, the siman is always on top. You have another one. We're going to take this book, please. שולחן ערוך יורה דעה, סימן כ'. Yes, there's a book there. So the Shulchan Aruch says, הקונה מהעובד כוכבים כלי סעודה, the purchase and the manufacturer is a Gentile. כלי סעודה, utensils that are used to prepare the meal. של מתכת, as we saw yesterday in Chumash, in Parashat Matot, there's a list of the 6 types of metals that mean Torah: metals, gold, silver, copper, iron. Oshel zchuchit, they are made from glass. This is only with the Rabbanan. Why should glass be considered clean? Because what makes in the Torah a clean is as follows. If I have gold, silver, metal, copper, I can always melt it and make a new clay. Glass is made from soil, from sand. You can always break it. At 1800 degrees, you can melt it and remake it. So with the Rabbanan, clay zchuchit are considered kelim.
In that case, what about plastic?
Plastic is not material.
Considered halachically.
Halachically, plastic is not material. So if you purchase from a Gentile, means manufactured by a Gentile. If the Gentile is only selling it, but it's manufactured by a Jew, then it's not chayav tevilah. או כלים המצופים בעבר מבפנים, אף על פי שהם חדשים. אף על פי שהם חדשים means even though you know for sure that the Gentile did not use it for non-kosher food, צריך להגבילם במקווה או מעיין של 40 שאה. ומן התורה, most ראשונים say that in the Torah, if you purchase a fork, a knife, a pot, plate, you have to dip it in the mikveh or ma'ayan. What is ma'ayan? Ma'ayan is a stream. Why is the Shulchan Aruch saying or ma'ayan shel 40 se'ah?
Is that like the river?
No, ma'ayan is a stream of water. Okay, maybe a river. But anyway, some Rishonim would say that, for instance, if you have needles or small items, if it's a ma'ayan, remember not in mikveh, never in your ass, and not if it's an original water source, you don't need 40 se'ah. Shulchan Aruch is strict, and he says when it comes to Tvilat Kelim, you need always a mikveh of 40 se'ah, which is approximately 180, 170 gallons of water. As we said yesterday, you go to Avenue S, which of course you never see. There's a huge pool of water that no one ever goes in. It has hundreds of gallons of water. Water comes from the roof through a cement pipe. Yes. Now, every mikveh that a woman goes is here or here or here or here, and every evening or every morning they're opening. So the water that are clean from the faucet every day are filling up this pool. This pool is connected. This is our mikveh. In the time of the Gemara, most of the mikveh was a pool of water filled up with rainwater, yes? So here is telling you, or a river, yes? Even if it's a river, you need 40 seah. Now, let's continue a second. So remember yesterday, I think maybe you, Nathan spoke about porcelain. So porcelain is an interesting type of a clay. Why? The earthenware, the porcelain is a very fine earthenware covered, glazed in glass. So the glass part is a glass, but the earthenware is not chayab. This is why every rabbi that you ask, and we're talking about serious rabbi, there's machloket, yes. Many say do it without the baracha. Everyone agrees to the baracha because the base of the plate is earthenware, yes.
Just to clarify, Rabbi, the glaze, according to Halachic opinion, is like a silica base. It's a glass-based glaze. It's not like a spray or paint.
No, it's glass. It's real glass.
If it were paint, would it be the same factor or no?
Paint is meaningless.
So
We're talking about
it's a glass.
we're talking now about the material. The
Glass-like
utensil is manufactured from. If you have very fine china, it's very heavy. You don't pay $250 for a plate for a painted. Okay, so now look, אגב, יש אומרים בכלים המצופים בעבר, אפילו בפנים, יטבול ולא ברכה.
So we make it, we're dipping it because we're afraid that the goy.
You're not afraid of anything. Who said it? Who said it? It's in the Torah. There isn't any halacha in Chumash that you do because of afraid. This is rabbinic halachot. You agree because it says in this week's Chumash in the Sefer Torah, you have to take it to the mikveh. The reason is the Yerushalmi says because the kli now is going to serve us. I'm not talking about human beings that eat like pigs, even though they walk on two. יצא מטומאת גוי לקדושת ישראל. Eating is avodat Hashem. The Kohanim, before they eat a korban, they had to wash their hands. Why? Cows eat, many human beings eat. Halacha is telling you, eating is avodat Hashem. If you eat for the right reason, the right amount, and the right food. So it's a broad question. David says, it has nothing to do with being kosher by the goy or not. It's newly manufactured. You take it out from the cover, from them. Make sure that you remove the tags, made in China or made in Japan. Look now and see that it's important sometimes if you have children or grandchildren to make the children aware it's being done. Most kids in school, I mean, I'm not talking because it's by school. I don't know if my mother takes it or not. She never saw. When my grandson was, I think, 10, he came in the summer for Shabbat to us. A Friday afternoon, and it happened. I bought something for Beto, took him to the lake, and I told him, Eliezer, you see it? And moving the tag, and I made a bracha. A few weeks later, the rabbi, his teacher says, does anyone know what Tevilat Kirim is? One kid. Right? How do you know? I said, no, only because my grandfather took me. You realize? We say many things to our kids. Either he doesn't enter the ear or he goes out right away. But if you take the kid with you in the car, even though it's $1.99 utensil, but the act registers. You have no idea what these little things do. Let's go to סעיף ב'. צריך שיהיה הכלי רפוי בידו בשעת טבילה. Yeah, this is made from metal. Okay, I'm taking it now in my hands like this, and I'm dipping it in the mikveh. You see, I'm holding it with 5 fingers. Every inch that I'm holding, right? Every inch that I'm holding covers the cup. Mikveh means that every inch is covered with the water. Says the Shulchan Aruch, make sure that you hold it loose. Loose. This is a grip. This is very loose. Or better than that.
Can you move your hand?
Remember, every inch there has to be
So
in
nothing
water at the
has-
same time.
Right.
Oh,
So
same
I'm saying if you go like this and then you went like this, it's not good.
That's good.
How about
Right,
here?
and you see, this is a good point of David. No,
Shifting it out, but still.
please look what the Shulchan Aruch is suggesting to you. ואם לכלח ידו במים, I always do it, take your hand and dip it first in the mikveh. So
This way it's.
even if you're holding it now, it's
oh,
אם
just-
לכלח ידו במים תחילה, אין לחוש. This is minor details, but it's important to remember, okay?
You just let it go. Just let it drop and it's.
And catch it.
See, Rani says, let go, let
It
go.
goes to the bottom, I stick my hand, so my shirt
No,
gets
no, but
wet.
this is only if you go to Avenue S.
Oh, yeah, the big,
And it's-
yeah,
and
it's
it's-
a river, it's another story, or a
In
lake.
the
Who
real,
knows?
in the
You don't
real,
wanna lose it.
our neighbor was the real mikvaot. You have to go in the bathing suit.
Some people in my family years ago had some knives they went to the beach, but they lost the knives in the water. They got so scared because there were knives in the water,
Yeah.
sharp knives.
Now look at Sif Gimal, very interesting halacha. Yevarech al tevilat kli. Here, this is a knife, this is a cup, it's a single one. So the language of the baracha is kli. ואם הם שניים או יותר, normally if you buy a set, מברך על טבילת כלים כלום. This is the opinion of Maran. Many disagree. Many say, what is the difference if it's one or not? The mitzvah is Tvilat Kli. I happen to have more, okay, but Maran openly says, the real question is, here, replacing mezuzot of your doors, you moved into a new house, or let's say they painted it, you took it off, okay? You have 12 mezuzot. Do you make al kriyat mezuzah or mezuzot? Mezuzah. Because the mitzvah is
Conceptual.
place a mezuzah. I'm doing it 12 times. So this is why some say that you have to say the bracha al tvilat kli matech. But you realize Shulchan Aruch doesn't mention it. Who cares what the material is? Yes. So remember, the bracha is a bracha, tvilat kli or kelim according to him. Others are saying,
So if you had one kli and you say kliyim,
it's fine. It's not care with the avad. But the question is, he is only telling you, since there are many, they have few utensils.
Sounds like Kali is more rational because you're doing the concept, like the mezuzah concept.
I'm telling you again, if you have children, young children, or even teenagers, take them once with you or make them a shaliach to do it. This way, you have to teach him how to do it, and he learns how to. You might sit in the car and tell him, here, the way is here by us, 18th Avenue 46, the big store, the same as WS. Have a special. Listen carefully now. Which items? Listen to this. Tripidash ששופטים עליהם כדירה. On my gas stove, I have a piece of metal that I'm putting the pot on, correct? grill, it says. We have to take it to the mikveh or not.
It's not touching the food.
Okay, so look at, yeah, Bani is right. טרפידית ששופטים עליהם כדרב. A piece of metal that the pot is being placed on, אינם טעונות טבילה. אבל, this is the Italian word or whatever, פדיליש, טעונות טבילה, מפני שנותנים עליהם המאכל עצמו. My language is, my toaster oven has trays. By a toaster oven, I'm placing the slices of bread on
On
it.
the tray.
So this I have to.
Or a barbecue grill.
Barbecue
Yeah,
grill.
those are grills, those are the
Exactly.
food
The
is right on it.
barbecue grill is where you put the hamburgers on.
Yeah.
The trays and the, okay. Now the next one is fascinating. Sakin, I'm sorry, yeah,
And it had nothing, even if you burn the grill, you still have to dip it.
no, remember, the reason is, it says in the Chumash, wherever was manufactured by a Gentile has to be taken to the mikveh. I went once to a very nice weekend bar mitzvah with my neighbor. So this was, we had 4 daughters and 1 son. For me, this was a big deal. So here, every table, every man got his own cup. Not the plastic cups, make believe cup, he gave you a cup. I took it out of the box, I marbled it, and then I look on the bottom. Made in Taiwan. Which means that I
You
cannot
can't use it.
I didn't want to tell the owner because there were 200 other people. But I took a plastic cup, that was there, a glass cup, and I made it to use with a glass cup.
But what happens if you use the cup? Would you be able to say,
Here's the question. What happened if the 199 people didn't? The answer is it doesn't make the wine as so right. I didn't want to do it because basically he wanted you to keep the cup.
There were gifts.
But it was gifts. Now, of course, it doesn't become a suit. So he's right, even those who didn't see it. So what?
Why does it become a soup?
It does not become a suit. I have an obligation to dip this in the mikveh.
Yeah.
If I did not, the food that I put in doesn't become a soup. Food becomes a soup, listen carefully. If this is contaminated by a man who is tameh, and Rani is a Kohen, he's about to drink grape juice manufactured from teruma, this is assuming a Torah. Understand? The other guest told him I just came from a funeral. He's holding the cup. If the cup is made from pottery, it doesn't become tameh if you touch it here. If he puts his fingers in, or it's a metal cup.
Yes, I'm sure he
Tameh min
touched
haTorah.
the net or bottle hell. Either way.
It didn't touch a casket, being in the same room. See, over there, but David, the wine is contaminated. It has to, spill it.
The problem that a lot of people have, and sometimes you forget, is reusing a pickle jar.
Right, David
Oh.
says,
Wow.
after they finish the pickles, they're using the pickle jar. So you have to remove the label from the pickle jar, and if you use your wife's makeup stuff,
They take off
Nail-
the
nail
glue.
polish
They take
remover.
off the
nail
glue.
polish remover is very,
Solid.
They take off the glue.
otherwise it's very, it's like many people
Wow,
are unaware of
that.
that.
Wow, that's scary.
In the olden times when coffee jars used to be from glass, many people used to keep it.
Yeah.
You have to take it in the
Even the
fridge.
cans, the coffee used to come in cans.
Correct.
Those cans.
Correct. So look now and see if
So if the hotel gave out new glasses, everybody to use special, that the hotel's owners a boy, then it wouldn't matter.
right.
If that the Jew
Not
was
only
giving
that.
them his gifts.
When I go to
You're
a
borrowing it.
hotel, the
You're not
rare
owning
time that I stay in a motel, the glass cups in the morning I can use to drink
It's
water
owned
because
by
it
the
belongs to the boy, it's not
You
mine.
just bought
You
your
realize?
shoes.
If a Jew takes ownership, this is when it becomes chayav.
Rabbi.
But you know,
Go ahead, go ahead.
Larry.
you've taught us that what happens if, like with a McDonald's, if a guy, who owns McDonald's? Who owns the hotel? If it's
So,
a,
we're going to discuss it. He's saying,
you taught us that with that.
let's have the following case. Listen, two cases which we're going to discuss. I mean, I happen to have a friend, a very good friend. He gave basically a commission, a very fancy jeweler. You should make them very special Pesach tray. Okay, so the Jew paid the non-Jew to make a silver tray. The material came from the goy, the manufacturer, and the goy, but for the $5,000 price that he gave him, it's his. Many say, because he's making it just for you, yes, he's like employed by you. You understand? If it's an item that they sell by the dozens and they manufacture every day, then you can say, I'm making an order of 200. He's making 1,000 a day. But in a case like this, in a minute we'll see it. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Rabbi, the boy could have used it in between he made it before giving it to him.
Please remember again, the reason we dip it in the mikveh has nothing to do to use it or not.
With the using
It's
of
brand new, everyone agrees. He's asking, he's manufacturing it for you. It's a factory.
Custom made.
But
Custom made.
are you saying these are the rices, or these are
Most.
so let me ask you, if they're rices, and why would you be makhil if you used it and
Very good question. In a minute. We'll come back.
okay.
We see a fascinating contradiction in Shulchan Aruch here, where they are, in Shin Chav Gimel.
It's like using a pair of puzzle tefillin, and you go,
Hold
right,
on, we'll see in a minute. But you see, here's the point. Remember again, in order for the food to become a soul, listen carefully what I'm saying. I'm cooking it in a pot that is not kosher, right? The non-kosher taste in the walls of the pot are affecting my food. Listen carefully now. The cold food or hot food that I'm putting in this cup, right, had nothing to do with the cup itself. The cup should have be dipped in the mikveh. We'll see in a minute. Everyone agrees on.
if a guy's manufacturing it and he didn't use it, isn't that a suffix used or not?
Okay, if he used it, it's
Okay, not used it. I go to a store today, in a hardware store, and I buy a pan. It's brand new. You're saying it's vada that you have to do it, but it's really like a suffix. He never used it.
right, but it's not really a suffix. It's not a suffix. See, the real question is, sometimes, I mean, it's not done anymore. I'm sure when you were young, and I know people do it in upstate New York, people used to buy estates. Something beautiful crystal cups. Over there, you're 100% right. Then you have to take all the metal items that you bought and put it in a blowtorch or fire or boiling water, yes? Here, I'll give you a very interesting example, but this is a very interesting example. Many years ago, why you used to send every year a group of students to Australia. Australia was a very intelligent Jewish community, but many of them were real secular Jews. But they wanted the community to make very intelligent young men and women. And every year, some families wanted to become more religious. First and foremost, to make your house kosher. Now, Australian Jews, many of them, had very expensive. We talk about 60s and 70s. And very expensive china. I don't know if you know names, but Be'emet, Wedgwood, and sets that are in the 60s, 70s were thousands of dollars. Be'emet, there's no way you make Canadian kosher. For those families, this was a reason not to make the house kosher because they can't. So Chacham Yosef Raful, later I saw it in Chacham Ovadia printed, said that in order to make, if this is the me'akev, tell them not to use it for a year.
Oh,
Then you can dip it, you can put it in boiling water. We had a family in Flatbush, parents were Russians. When their parents realized, two sons are becoming sincerely religious, they expressed the desire to become made it kosher. Me and Rabbi Tyler went and we used exactly the same. Yes? We took all the china dishes in a ghee of boiling water. Yes? Is it good for David? No. David will do it, it'll be good. But not that you need it, yes?
No,
And the reason, but you see by then, since they didn't know what dairy and meat is anyway, after we dipped everything in boiling water, we had to make a mouth, make a blue underneath of heaven. This was a set of 24.
that it was changed.
Right. So here,
That's why state sales, you can never buy porcelain or ceramics because that's
right.
can't be done.
From
My
a
silver,
state,
my crystal.
from a state, you could buy silver, you could buy glass, but porcelain, expensive.
But what is the mahut of the mitzvah? I know we read it, yes. What's
But I'm telling you, it's a very fine line. It's difficult today to say because sometimes the fine line is, I'm using an example that's very extreme example. My oldest son, I took, first I went to Yankee Stadium, I took my son. As it happened, the guy.
I hope this isn't recorded, because I hope this isn't recorded in Lakewood. I'm not putting this out in Lakewood, Rabbi Prague. Motzi Shemra, Rabbi Prague.
At least he didn't go to the Mets.
Listen, the Italian in front of us drank already before we came 16 ounces of beer. I mean, anyway, in front of us is buying the third one, is already, yeah. Then he orders a frank. It's not a kosher frank, it's a big frank. And my son was a little innocent little Jewish kid. This guy took the frank and he just shoved it in. He didn't eat it. Well, I remember my son's eyes almost popped out. Now, of course, it's an extreme case because most people don't do it. Now, the idea is, Ishmael, that in real Judaism, eating is part of the general Avodat Hashem. Since the kli that is being used for Seudah is being purchased by a Jew, I'm making a very strong statement. This goes to the mikveh. Remember, every time you wash, every time you eat, everything went to the mikveh. Remember to eat like a person.
It's a holy endeavor. It's not just.
I read a story a couple of years ago, but it's a small, but the point was a very good point. The Rebbe of Munkat was very sharp. And he was on a train once, and the guy, I guess, next to him or whatever, was eating a sandwich. The guy didn't have a yarmulke, of course, he didn't make a bracha, but the Rebbe later says to him, "You must come from a Jewish background." He says, "Rabbi, this was a ham sandwich." But how do you know the way you ate? The guy was crazy. He didn't take big bites. He put it down. He does it. There are many educated goyim who do that, but here's the chokhmah. The chokhmah is we are taught to eat with a fork and a knife, especially if you are in front of others. If you are alone watching a exciting football game and no one is around, are you eating the same as clients or not? This is really the test, and this is the idea of taking it to the mikveh. I mean, the Lashon of the Yerushalmi, מפני שיצא מטומאת עכו"ם לקדושת ישראל. יצא מטומאת עכו"ם לקדושת ישראל, and this is really what it means. It means food is part of showing that we're human beings, the way we eat, the quantity, the speed, and etc. Look now and see if
But it's fascinating, this whole idea of the mikvah and water with the Kohen, if a Kohen goes in, think about it, every time he changes his clothes, what
You mean a Yom Kippur? Yeah.
Even though, even if on a regular day he has to change his clothes, or if he goes to the bathroom, he has to. If he's mashtin, it's one thing, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah. But you see, but this is the point. The point is, Yom Kippur is a good example. Here, 5 times the Kohen Gadol is changing from Bigdei Zahav to Bigdei Lavan, and but before every time he has to go to mikveh. What is that? But this is exactly the idea. You are about to do a totally different type of service. You realize the mikveh that you're going to is a reminder that you are. The Hasidim on Rosh Hashanah before Tkiat Shofar go to all the Hasidim, go to mikveh. Every Hasidic shtibu. We finish Shachrit, we are getting ready for Shofar. They have a half an hour break. Everyone goes to.
Takes a long time to get right in there.
Steve goes every Erev Shabbat. There's to Saket Lake. So I stopped going because a few years ago, 3 years ago, I had twice cellulitis, and the doctor told me, in the mikveh where everyone is stepping on the floor, this is where you. So before Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, I'm standing under a dash of water for 3 minutes as Tesha Kabir Mayim Shuvim. And I think I'll go to before summer is over. I'll go to Saturday.
Rabbi.
Yes.
I buy a jar of pickles. It's very hard for me to understand how now I have to dip it because I'm using it for something else. Are you asking what to do? No, I'm just the whole
telling me a
concept.
fact.
I'm just the whole concept already.
The question should be, what gives me the right not to dip it after I open the cover?
I'm with it.
Okay, some say take out the pickles, dip it, and leave it there. See, every jar normally is made to be thrown away. To feed the size to people.
Yeah, make my own pickles.
It becomes a tweet.
It's like temporary, it's technically for temporary
The
use.
real question is Shabbat, not the pickle. You have a can of pickles. You open the Shabbat, which is for a great hefty pickles. When you open the can, you just made a tweet. Right? So he says, either eat everything or transfer it to another part.
But wouldn't you think that if I'm going to buy pickles that have an OU, that the pickles that they put the pickles in the jar, wouldn't they think that it would be the chatchila should be kosher? I mean, it's really the either.
We can bet for a nickel, but the real answer is, why are you eating the pickles? Shmato. 95% of the people today throw away the jar, which means the jar is not a kli. The jar is made
Just like a wrapper.
holding the
Holding
pickles.
the pickles.
This is why you're not looking at the jar as a kli. See, David's question was, they finished the pickles. Okay, now they decided to keep it as a jar. Now you are making it into a kli, aren't you?
Sure, if it's right.
But this is exactly, no, I only told Jojo on Shabbat, if you open a can of pickles or whatever, yes, you are, by opening it using a can opener, I just made on Shabbat a kli.
So why isn't that bona?
Oh, it's exactly, many people wouldn't do it. But those who do it, what's their tell? Their tell is, I am going to finish the can and throw it away. So by me, it's not a kli, it's only a container. But if you are eating half of the container and you're leaving it in the refrigerator, in the tin, right, can, you manufactured. Okay, so what many people may do is that this. So
They empty it out.
no. Okay, but today it's not.
Today you should do it.
Today we're not. 99% of people are not using it as a kli
I have a
anymore.
big glass of grape juice. A bottle of grape juice, kedem, and a glass
The
bottle.
answer
That's
is,
Mevu
the
Sham,
answer
not
is,
Mevu Sham. So now I open it
That's
up
any jar.
and I'm only using
Yeah,
hand.
that's clear.
This is fine. Listen carefully. Larry, you notice that I spoke about a metal, a tin. Why? The minute you have grape juice, the bottle is already clean. The cover,
Oh, cover.
the cover is not making it into a clean. The
Oh,
clean is there.
I see.
The clean is there. The can, tuna fish can is okay. You can see it. No, but the minute you get used to it, it's a routine. But when I was a kid, this is many years ago,
Not that many.
but more than you,
By a drop, by a drop.
Okay, but I used to go. I remember it. This is 70 years ago. I used to go for my father, and myself, to a shoemaker. I remember as now. Yes, it was a Yemenite Jew. He had little tuna fish cans, a million types of nails. I mean, by me, I remember as a kid fascinating. You knew exactly the size of the nail you need this, but you had it like a display.
Yeah.
See, for this shoemaker, when he ate tuna fish and he opened it, he's making it clean. Because the tuna fish is finished, he's going to use. Yes,
Even if he's not using for food.
But in halakha,
Talk about Shabbat now. I'm not talking about mikveh now. I'm talking about Shabbat. You understand? I'm talking about Shabbat. This is really the issue. Today, everyone gets rid of the can.
Is the can today
Especially by
different?
tuna fish.
what
right?
about if you recycle the can?
No, but the recycle, it's not you. You're doing the
Okay.
law.
And what other examples could you give of something that started off and then when you used it, it changed it to something in halakha? I mean,
He got a very important point here. He's saying it started as a container,
X and it turned to Y.
switched now into a clip.
The tuna can with a pull-off top. Is that
A
the
pull-off top or a can?
No, but it's
A Coke
the
can
same
is
as
not
a
case? Same
can.
thing, same.
Many people do, but Chacham Ovadia says it's not necessary, but many do. You hear, Larry, many people do it like this. Before you open the tuna fish can, you make a tiny hole in the bottom.
Oh,
Tiny hole.
like a neck or something.
The minute you start to open the top
It's not
now,
clear
it's not clear anymore.
Because now it has a
The
hole.
reason why most people talking about sincerely religious don't do it because everyone gets rid of it.
Yeah.
So no one is looking today at a tuna fish can
Once you
as
put the hole in, it's not worth
a
any money.
clip.
Once you put the
No,
hole
but
in.
anyway, even without the hole, let's go to Seif Hey. סכין של שחיטה, it is, יש מי שאומר שאינו צריך טבילה, ויש חולקים, טוב לו ולא ברכה. This is fascinating.
What about a sakin for a bris?
But that's
My
something
friend,
else.
but this is,
You're not gonna eat
again, the halacha to dip in the mikveh is only a metal dish manufactured by a goy for a seudah. In every bris you have a seudah, but the knife is the boy.
Not using that knife, I hope.
But the beef is gonna be eaten.
To listen to something
Oh,
fascinating,
that's great.
I was talking last Shabbat, it was a pele. In the 50s, in Har Zion, they had like a cave. Some people claim this was the kever of David, whatever. But they made it like into a shul. And people used to come to visit this and this. Hashem Yishmerenu, Holocaust survivors here came with a huge rope that they brought from Europe. Hashem Yishmerenu, Jews were hungry.
Oh,
When they were liberated, and they figured here, it's like a little museum. And listen to this. Every Asara B'Tevet, the chief rabbinate wanted the Asara B'Tevet to be Yom HaKadosh HaKlali. This should be the Holocaust Memorial Day. The Knesset rejected it, but fine. Every Asara B'Tevet used to have a minyan there, and the Chazan, here it is, used to wear this robe, like Hasidim,
Oh,
Gartel.
Rabbi Meshulam Rata was one of the biggest poskim in Israel. Asur. Listen why. The Yavet is 250 years ago, has the following tshuva, Tishma Dabar Pele. A shochet, a Jewish shochet, purchased from a goy a huge knife, and the goy told him that he was the executioner for the government, which means human heads were decapitated by the knife. The Jew bought it, wants to use part of it as a shechita knife. Says the Yavetz, asur. You know why? Because the Gemara says in Sanhedrin that those objects, utensils used by the Sanhedrin to kill people, for instance, the scarf that was used to choke someone, the scarf has to be buried. It is buried with him. The Gemara says that the stones that you use to stone someone has to be buried. Says the Yavetz to the Shochet, this knife, right, is like the knife of the Sanhedrin. It's not because the Sanhedrin did it. It's because an idol that was used. I mean, I'm using just an example now. If Hashem Yishmerenu v'yatzalenu, Chayal Tzar was seriously injured and he died. They operated on him, they took out 2 bullets. They give the family the bullets. And the son wants to make.
Oh, yeah. Wow. He has to bury those bullets.
Bury the bullets. Yes? This is exactly what he's saying. The bullets are the knife. You realize? So the Rabbi Meshulam Rata told the head of Misrad HaDatot, take the rope and bury it. Yes?
You mentioned something, a utensil that you're going to eat with.
Yeah.
So the ladies, they use special scissors. And
Well,
cleaning
you mentioned
the-
yesterday, yes. You mentioned
the
yesterday.
chicken scissors.
My wife also special chicken scissor. You have to.
Dip them.
The scissor in my house that you have for
Cutting
cutting
paper or something like that.
paper.
That's not-
It's a special scissor to cut chicken. You have to, of course, you have to make it in the mikveh. Now, what is the logic that sakin of shchita should need or not?
This is contact with food.
But sure, is it? Listen, good now. You realize that this is not preparing the food, Larry. It's making the meat kosher, but you have to
Step
cook
all the way
it.
in
you understand?
The preparation step.
The pot and the fork and the knife and the plate are used directly to prepare the food for the food. Here, this is the 2 opinions. It's fascinating, yes? On one hand, of course, I cannot eat without slaughtering the animal. On the other hand, slaughtering the animal is really making the animal potentially kosher. There are many other things that make the food edible. This is the 2 opinions. This is why he says, do it with beli beracha. Every time you have this type of machloket, you do it beli beracha. Okay, let's go further. Go to Seif Chet, we'll finish in a minute. I heard from the big Talmid Chacham. His father told me, his father was a big rabbi. He says, when people look too often on the time during your class, make sure that you're not over time.
I'm one sense of your
I'm
time.
joking. He told me, but listen, but it's your decision. But the minute they do like this on the clock, stop immediately.
Oh, that's serious.
But Rabbi Prague I was in high school and the class was supposed to be over. The Rebbe was supposed to be at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
If he's teaching me, he's only paid to 1 o'clock. But if he's teaching me till 2 after 1, I always felt that I was stealing from him. That's why I always wanted him to finish by 1 o'clock.
Sounds like a good story, Larry.
I have to tell you something, I'll never forget it. About when we finish the Daf Yomi, you know, this is 7.5 years we finish shots.
Wow.
It's a group of people that I'm learning many years. So we made a nice nail this, that. So I said, if anyone or some can volunteer and tell me what's special about our class. I didn't say me, but I meant me. So I figured someone, this is now speaking me about myself, I explained very clear this. The first guy really says, Rabbi, you always finish on time. I'll never forget it.
Oh,
Really?
look at that.
I have a clock in front of me. B'diuk. I might be in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah.
Now, why is it important, David? Can you imagine, David, I'm teaching the guy 2,711 pages in 7.5 years, and I'm asking him what's special, and said, we finish on time. Why is it important? No, we are laughing. I'm not laughing. Why was it? Because I show respect to the guy. I tell the guy, you coming to the class, it's very nice. But very often, you know how many times I'm running in between bar mitzvah, I'm running in the middle, saying, I'm running the show of I'm showing the guy, if the class is over at 9, you can plan everything you want that night. But no one said it, but I always come on time. I'm never late for the same reason. The class is important. Yes? I remember I came home, I told my wife, it took me time to realize what it meant. But in the beginning, I was like this. But this is exactly what it meant.
On the other hand, people that habitually.
But look how much time we spent on time and Zman. Zman, Tefillah has to be Zman, the carbon has to be on Zman, everything is Zman.
Exactly, life is about time. But this exactly.
Even in Minyan,
You should tell you.
Zman Kriyat Shema Min HaTorah ends up exactly 3 hours after. It's a mitzvah min HaTorah.
Do you have an accountant that we both know? Maybe you could talk to him about this issue?
You know,
yeah, let's not go there.
yeah.
He doesn't hold from Zman. I'm like, he's a chassid when it comes to
Hey,
Zman.
listen, this is
The DNA, you can't help it.
it's some people,
Can't help
you
it.
know, they say a joke that, you know, the Germans in general are very, very exact.
Very much.
They say that, you know, a German Jew used to come every day at the same time from shul. His wife knew exactly when he comes home. One day he came like two seconds later, and it says we started to say the temple. 2 seconds. It's 2 extra seconds. No, but you have to give them a lot of credit. It's look now in Halacha Chet, we'll finish with it. Keeping the time, right?
Sorry, I'm not gonna look now.
Hashoel, listen carefully now. O socher kli meha'akum eino ta'un tvila. You borrow or you rent.
Right.
Now, we're assuming now that the guy didn't use it. So the example I gave you before, you're staying in a motel or hotel, right? Now, the China cups perhaps were used by someone to cook some whatever, soup in it, whatever. But the glass cups I always use, and this is the halacha, yes? I am borrowing from the motel hotel the glass cup. This halacha is very important. I'm stopping now because it's time. But tomorrow morning, if you buy something new and you forgot to take it to the mikveh, it's Shabbat.
Give it to the nation.
Give it as a matana.
Shulchan Aruch says in the last seif, here, אם שכח, לוקן ט"ז להרים, אם שכח ולא הטביל כלי מערב שבת, התננו לעקום, ואחר כך ישאלנו ממנו באו לפעמים. Why? But this is a real gift you're giving him, and then you bow. We continue tomorrow, we finished in time even today. Shulchan Aruch says, but tomorrow we're going to see in Orach Chaim also.